mean, young, old. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
In the summer.
Oh shit, we're going? Are we going? Shit, we're going live right now. Yeah, boy.
Big hood in the beard. What up? How about the boys? The Dallas Cowboys, that is. What up? What up? How about the boys? What up? How about them boys? I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
We
back, baby.
We weren't going to even do this.
No, this happened within 5 minutes.
Before we say anything, I got to give props to Bandwagon Boy 1 here. He was legit. It looked like he had been pepper sprayed. We don't know if it was the smoke in Vegas or like...
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
But like the last, I'd say, hour of the draft...
I couldn't see.
He couldn't see his eyes, and we got back to the hotel. He actually came up here. I went and grabbed us some water and tried to win us some money back that we had lost gambling. But he looked like he had been pepper sprayed. We don't know if it was the suntan lotion or...
It was either a combination of the suntan lotion or the fact that
a couple guys that came in your eyes.
Oh, yeah, big time. That could have been it. Or it was the suntan lotion or the smoke. Who knows?
It was, anyways. Yeah, we basically, I was chatting with BWB2 there, and I was like, Alex was asking us, are we doing a cast? Because we'd kind of planned to go live right about now. I was like, no, we're not. I don't think so. And then at about, like, I'd say a half hour ago, we're like, fuck it, let's do it. Yep. And you basically rearranged our hotel.
And started to say that, I'll just start to... He's like, I'll just do it. I'll just run it. And he starts setting stuff. I'm like, okay, move. Let's go. I don't know if we're going to run... I don't know if we're going to lose time here. I don't know if we're going to lose time on our internet connection.
Yeah, it's pretty mangled together. But hey, we're here and we're back and we're live on location in Vegas. Crazy day yesterday. We got Alex in Thailand. We got a lot to talk about. First, I'll shout out our socials. I'll just do it quick. We got cowboyscanfan.com where you can find everything. You got our YouTube, you got our TikTok, you got our Instagram, you got our Twitter. All of them are basically at Cowboys Can Fan minus the YouTube, which if you're watching right now, you already know what it is, which is Cowboys Can Fan podcast. Anyways, crazy couple days. Ad's going to be manning this. AJ, I want to know what you think about...
And before you do that, shout out to the people who are showing up, the fans that are showing up in the chat right now. We got Mo Davila, who's saying Dallas Cowboys for life, and Abel Lewis, who says, what's up, my guys? Was waiting for y'all reactions. So we got people who are waiting for...
We appreciate it.
For what we got to say. And, that's what makes us do these things last minute.
Last minute on the go. And yeah, you're right. The only reason we do live streams is so that we can basically shoot the shit with the fans.
And you know what?
There it is.
Crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you got them, son. AJ, I got to ask you, because I've been basically with Adam for the last, 72 hours. We basically know our thoughts of everything. But I want to hear what your thoughts are with, yesterday for one, with the Tyler Smith. There's a lot of controversy around the pick. I don't even know if you could call it controversy, more so than kind of what we had talked about prior to Ad going live with us. But I just want to hear your picks or thoughts on the first pick. And you've been kind of in the loop with a bunch of other Cowboys fans too. So you kind of do your say, and then we'll kind of talk about the feel around Vegas.
Yeah, we'll tell you what the Vegas is like, baby. Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I thought I didn't know who this guy was, but I don't think anyone really had mentioned his name as a prospect anyways. There was a lot of sexy picks that people wanted to see that the Cowboys chat I was in was just up in arms, like lethal with one another. But as for Tyler Smith, I think it checks off a box. The guy is an OT, but from what I'm reading, again, this is all fucking maybe second, third, fourth hand. I don't know. But from what I'm reading, it can fit into that guard slot potentially just for as we need him, and then maybe move to a tackle if that ever happens too. So the versatility I like. He's a big boy, and I'm happy that we got that O-line out of the way, to be quite honest.
Well,
and it's a first-round pick.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been talking draft now for 3 fucking months? Maybe not 3 months, 2 months at least.
Yeah.
And I never pretend that we're versed on the college game. We've never claimed that
first ones to admit that we're not versed on the college game.
We're not versed on the college game. So we'll take a few picks, or we'll look at the kind of first-round prospects between 10 before what the Cowboys are picking, 10 after the Cowboys are picking, and kind of make an opinion on it. So we kept hearing these same names, right? Like Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green, the fucking center from Iowa, Nakobe Dean. Like we had these names in our brain that we kind of get stoked up on, and I think everyone else is sort of like that too, right? Like at the end of the day, we wanted. I'll always say I want to say position before I say player's name. Right?
Yeah.
I always will say, hey, I think we have a huge need at offensive line, which we did. I said we needed a need at linebacker, and we had a huge need at wide receiver. Those were my three kind of picks. No names. Those were just my three positions that I hope they shored up. Obviously, we didn't get linebacker. We got a D end. But back to our first-round pick, Tyler Smith, he, like you said, Alex, I think the plan is for him to be a guard. Like he's not coming in. He's not starting over Tyron Smith. He's not starting over Terrence Steele. I think they're grooming him to be Tyron Smith's replacement and younger brother. But I think he's going to play left guard. And I've been watching today when Adam was editing our vlog, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the vlog from yesterday, it's in the channel. It's from the first round. We vlogged the whole day. Great episode. Or a great vlog. Adam did a great job on it.
We're biased about it,
Yeah, we are biased, but I've probably watched it, like, I don't know, I'm probably 10% of our views already. But
for sure is.
Tyler Smith he just fits what we need. We need an offensive lineman, and I'm happy with the pick. Even you have ad captured me at the draft looking at him, and he's filming me, and they go, oh, the Cowboys pick at 24, Tyler Smith, and I'm like,
Tyler Smith.
And I'm like,
let's go, baby.
I'm like, Tyler Smith, but he fills a need, and if he can go left guard right away, and then be groomed to then be Tyron Smith's replacement, then I honestly think it could be a pretty good pick, personally.
Mo Davila is asking, would you say that the Cowboys stick with O-line or other needs on defense?
What, going forward?
Yeah.
Going in the fourth round? Fuck. Now, the fourth to the seventh round, you truly, I think, go best player available, which I preach anyways. I would like to see another guard pick at 4. In the fourth, I'd like to see another guard pick, a true guard or a center. It gives us a little bit of leeway just in case this Tyler Smith doesn't pan out. It's kind of like when RG3 got drafted by the Redskins. They were the Redskins at the time, and they still took Kirk Cousins in the fourth round.
What do you think about what do you both think about? I know you said you don't hate the wide receiver, but I still feel like we probably could have taken a linebacker in that spot.
There were some good linebackers left. My linebackers that I wanted, the Eagles got Nakobe Dean not too early before
Leo
us.
Chanel hasn't gone, and that was
he's gone now.
He's gone now.
He's gone.
When we picked for that round, he wasn't gone.
It goes back to them really believing in Jabril Cox. They think he's that guy.
Yeah.
They're like, why draft a Nakobe Dean or a Leo Chanel or a Christian Harris when we possibly already got that guy last year in the fourth round? Why waste draft capital when that guy's already on the team?
Right.
So
what are your thoughts, Alex? So the thing with us when we're and I know I asked you your thoughts and then I cut you off.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Alex? Just wait, Ad's talking.
When we were in the mix at the draft at the fan experience, you guys, it was like we were on a delay. It's like whenever we're around, we're always on some sort of delay. Because you guys knew what was going on before we knew what was going on.
I told Ad, I was like, don't look at the fucking group chat because they know the one time it happened because you said, I don't even remember.
I was like, they're already talking about
a pick that we hadn't even
ahead
seen
of what we saw. So the things that you miss when you're there is you do miss all the analysts, you do miss the insight on that particular pick, you do miss some other particular objectives about said player. Like we're hearing people, we're getting the crowd vibe, and you totally miss a lot of that.
You miss all of it. The crowd vibe's awesome, though.
Yeah, the crowd vibe is awesome. But my question to you, Alex, out in Thailand, how much were you able to keep up with what was going on? Were you able to watch stuff live, or were you just seeing stuff on the internet?
And he was in the future. He knew shit that was happening before us.
You were in the future.
Even though we were live.
I was literally I was in the future. I thought I was certainly going to be delayed, but I started watching the NFL networks with Rich Eisen, and then I switched over to Pat McAfee's or McAfee's podcast on YouTube, and that was a lot like that one a lot better. But that's how I
was he doing like a live stream?
He's doing a live stream. He has like maybe 3 or 4 other guys that call in, and Aaron Rodgers calls in all the time,
right.
and
AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk's always on there.
AJ Hawk. Yeah, so he's gaining a lot of respect as being like a
insider,
a good interview for football players.
I mean, and not as dry, right? He's not as dry really as like Rich Eisen, or you're gonna take a guy that he seems pretty cool and played in the league. You know, nothing against Rich Eisen. I have a lot of respect for Rich Eisen. He
held his beer yesterday.
He held his beer yesterday, and remember the whole reason we almost got into football was when NFL Network was launched in Canada, and Rich Eisen he still had hair at that point, and
back in the day,
I can't but he was one of the first guys to bring football kind of to the mainstream in Canada anyways. I know football's always kind of been like this in the States, but no disrespect to Rich Eisen, but I do know what you mean, Alex. Pat McAfee's just probably a little bit more of our age group feel.
Yeah. I like Pat McAfee.
He's just and the thing about it is even ESPN, I believe, was doing a YouTube stream. I couldn't find the NFL Network, and they're behind the game in that. I don't want to derail us because I do want to get into my thoughts on the picks, like Adam asked about 10 minutes ago.
Like 20 minutes ago. Just saying.
But yeah, like I think YouTube
got him
is this YouTube live stream that can be done with, and I'm only using yesterday as my example so far, but it's I believe like that's what we're going to start seeing more and more of. Didn't NFL also just go sign with an Amazon streaming for
Prime
Video?
Like
they were Thursday Night Football just got signed with Prime. They were actually showing it everywhere over the fan experience, and I think the main thing was they were showing Week 2, they were leaking the Week 2 Thursday night game.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was. We've been drinking pretty heavily, so we didn't really catch that. But AJ, let's hear your thoughts on. We kind of got your Tyler Smith thoughts, but what about today, the 2nd and 3rd round picks here?
Yeah, again, so reading up on these guys post pick, there was a lot of people calling Sam Williams in the 2nd, and they got it bang on, really, obviously, because that's who we picked. I like the guy. He's from what I was reading about him, I think it's going to work really well with the players that we have because he's an inside rusher, and we can utilize Parsons as that outside guy. He's super versatile, but I'm just saying now we can really lock that down. We have D-Law to play that fundamental linebacker position, and Jadeveon Clowney, did I say his name right?
Yeah, you got Clowney. You got for once. Yeah, you did. You got a name right.
Hey, congratulations.
So you're thinking we maybe target him in free agency after?
No. Who did we sign?
What do you mean?
We signed a fucking
not a free agent. You're thinking Dorrance Armstrong?
No, it was a DN that we signed not too long ago. Maybe I got his name wrong. One sec. Anyways,
I wish we signed Jadeveon Clowney. I was like, I like where you're going with this because possibly we still do go for that.
And then we realized we don't know where you're going with this.
Which we still like.
Yeah, I know. But no, I think that Sam Williams is going to come in there and be able to be utilized with the skills that we have, and that will be awesome. And then also
too as well
with our third. Pardon?
No, sorry, nothing.
He's on a delay. You can't.
Sorry,
joke around with him.
Yeah, I always forget you're on. You know what? The delay actually isn't that bad today.
No, it's because we're closer to him here in Vegas.
Anyways, AJ, you're saying sorry for derailing you there.
No, I'm still trying to find this fucking player.
Well, while AJ's looking for that player, a couple questions.
Dante Fowler Jr.
Sorry, there you go.
It's not Clowney. What are you talking about?
Fowler and you know what? I kind of forgot that.
Sorry.
No, you're right. I kind of forgot that we even signed him, to be honest, because it wasn't a huge signing. But he does have promise. And you're right. With Dante Fowler Jr., Dorrance Armstrong, who had a decent season with us last year, and this Sam Williams guy, you know what? We got guys that are trying to prove themselves. And what's better than a hungry guy trying to get paid?
Yep.
Nothing. There isn't anything better than that. These young guys, they're all relatively young minus Fowler, but they're all out there to prove themselves, which is great. That's kind of what we want. So I know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You think he's going to complement the guys we already got on the roster, which I agree. We got a couple good D tackles that are going to take up some room. We got Micah Parsons where he's kind of a zero. He's going to kind of just line up wherever and go. Yep. And then you got this Sam Williams, who's, like you said, AJ, I'm going to quote you here, a big boy who could wreak some havoc. And I like it. You can never have too many defensive linemen.
Hey, we got 8 people watching this right now, and 9 now. Go ahead and smash that like button while we're doing our post third round draft reaction.
And we are in Vegas right now. No, I don't know if you can we could be gambling. We could be doing anything in the world right now, but we're actually standing here. Well, not standing. We're kind of sitting. We're sitting here right now. Oh, shit. We actually just got a post from a huge fan. I've slept with this fan before. Tate just sent a picture of us.
Oh, snap.
Jeez, you almost knocked this down.
Yeah, it almost knocked up our
I don't know what she said.
It was just a picture of us.
Oh, she's watching it?
Yeah, she's watching.
Well, we do have some stuff going on in the chat right now
let's get some questions. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Okay, you grab a drink. Alex, I don't know if you're looking at the draft right now. We have Mo Davila keeps asking questions. He goes, this is not a draft question, but do you think Trevon Diggs is going to lock up A.J. Brown? Before we answer that, Chris Galbraith, who has been an audience member of the podcast before, brother Brendan Galbraith has been on the podcast. He's saying A.J. is playing on wicker knees. He'll be lucky if he makes the games against Dallas. What do you think about that, Alex?
Look, the trades that happened really, we kind of talked about it briefly and with Anth in the chat, so maybe he can speak for himself when he comes and sits down. But basically, we felt that the Cooper trade, although it looks bad, like what we got a 5th round for him, and these guys were going for 1st round picks essentially. His contract was the biggest issue that the Cowboys were trying to unload. So, I don't know if that actually lines up with only getting a 5th round, but.
And what do you think? What do you think about Tariq Woolen from the True Alpha? And we're going to say this: we don't know about Tariq Woolen.
Who the F is Tariq Woolen?
Exactly.
Let me have a look.
True Alpha, why don't you tell us who Tariq Woolen is? If you're still on here, by the way, BTW. So, anyways,
he's a fast kid.
Okay, so we have our picks in the third. Where do we go from?
Hey, sorry, just to cut you off, Ad. Before we go back into the Cowboy stuff, I kind of wanted to touch on what Alex had said. But before that, we're gonna crack them because we do have them, son, and we're gonna drink them because.
Crack them if you got them.
Why the fuck not? But AJ's question about, or I don't even know if it was AJ's question, but it was about us locking up AJ Brown.
It was Mo Davila's question in the chat.
In the chat. So that was a great question, and it's not even. I'm not even going to touch on that much. Too much. More so than wow, did the Eagles fucking kill it?
Yeah, the Eagles had a great draft.
Man, does it hurt me to say, but like Jordan Davis as D tackle, that guy is an absolute monster. Not only did they do that.
Dean.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean in the 3rd round, and then they get A.J. Brown as a wide receiver. Like, the Eagles...
I know.
And I hate to fucking say it, but the Eagles 100% got better. Like, without a doubt, they're probably going to get one of the higher draft ratings out of any team, and I hate to say it, but they did a really good job.
And... there was a lot of Eagles down here.
Tons.
A lot of Eagles down here in Vegas.
Ad asked me, I think it was yesterday, we were walking around and we were kind of walking around, shooting the shit, having a beer down the strip. And we're like, who do we think we've seen the most jerseys of? And they're obviously Cowboys Nation's representing tons of Cowboys. Yep. I couldn't even find a draft hat. Trying to buy a draft hat. They're all sold out everywhere. But
your boy got one, though.
Adbest did get one. I will have to say, regrettably, the Eagles showed up. There was a lot of disgusting, I don't even know what kind of green that is.
A lot of Eagles, a lot of Lions.
A lot of Lions. Respect to the Lions.
Seemed to be a decent amount of Pittsburgh and
Steelers, Minnesota.
A lot of Raiders.
A lot of Raiders, naturally.
Yep.
And then I would say that was probably the top 6 or 7. I don't know if we named 6 or 7, but that was probably the top 6 or 7 teams walking around, jerseys walking around.
Maybe it's just the loudest ones.
Yeah. Cowboys did show up, though. So back to our draft now. We all, I think, agree that we like the 2nd round pick.
Yep. 3rd round pick, what do you think?
I love it. And back to the fact that I said I don't know a lot of the names of the players that are going to get drafted in the 3rd round, right? But what did I say to you today? I said I want to have.
Abel Lewis says Eagles rock a diarrhea green.
Oh yeah, diarrhea green. That's definitely the color palette.
Yeah.
When you're like selecting it on a computer, you hover over it and it says diarrhea green.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna. So today, this morning when we were before we even did anything really, we were kind of talking. Okay, we're gonna film this, film that, and we both kind of agreed what positions did we want. And third round, we both kind of agreed on wide receiver, because and people will say wide receiver is not a need. But our wide receiver group right now is very unproven.
Yeah, I was excited about the wide receiver at first, but I do think now that I think
watch his highlights. He's pretty dope.
Yeah, I did watch it.
He looks good.
Yeah,
he looks good.
I thought wide receiver because in my mind I was set on us taking a linebacker in second.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
And then you kind of wanted a linebacker.
And then I kind of wanted a linebacker.
Linebacker was deep, but the Cowboys obviously just did not have that position graded high. At all, which you got to go with your BPA, baby.
What are you saying, Alex? You were about to say something, and I keep cutting you off, which we know I like to do.
Did he leave?
I was just gonna say I like this wide receiver on paper because
give us his stats. Give us his AJ. I don't know if you have the computer or able to search it up. Give us his stats, like not necessarily his game stats, but his physical attributes. Like how tall is he? How much does he weigh? Sure. What 40 does he run? Because I'm ignorant to it. I don't know what he has. I was gonna spend probably the remainder of the night looking up this stuff, but then we decided to go live. We decided to grab a Chang, son.
Yeah. So his stats are he's depending as well different between a couple prospect information sites, but 6'1" or 6'2",
like it,
roughly 200 pounds, 195, 200 pounds, and he's got a big 6'4" arm reach with 10-inch hands,
which is big.
So, yeah.
So he's not the biggest guy on the planet. Like he's not heavy. He's not heavy.
No, but he can get up there and catch a ball. I think he had like a nice mid-low to mid-high vertical as well, so he can jump up there and catch a ball.
Give me his 40, babe.
He runs a 4.49.
He runs a 4.49. Yeah. Not bad.
But
not bad.
He's got good games. He's got good long speed. They say so.
He keeps that 4.49 going after the 40 is what it is. Like he's still striding out.
Exactly. Yeah, and he's probably got that little bit of that. Let's hope a little bit of that Jerry Rice in him, where he's just faster than the next guy on the field.
You can't clock it.
Yeah.
It's like he's quicker in the game. There's no measurement for that. We hope.
Yeah.
We hope we hope he's got anything to do with Jerry Rice in him. 100%.
Absolutely. But he'll take the top off defenders, is what they say. So he's better a north to south than he is running, but he does have some slot experience as well. So if we look at who we have on the team with and the skill set that we have with our top two wide receivers in Gallup and Lamb, and I don't mean to put him in. That's not like an order. That's just the two receivers.
So why do you think Gallup's better than CD?
Yeah, why do you think CD Lamb's not as good as Michael Gallup, Alex?
And so I think that he's going to come in there and he can play that long ball position. Now I know Gallup does that a little bit as well, but I'd like to see Gallup just running all over the field unhinged and not having to play a specific position, just using as is. And we know what CD Lamb does well.
Slot.
And don't forget about Schultzology.
Not get the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, CD. So like you said, I think is CD Lamb going slot then mostly? And this new cat's gonna be on the outside. I guess they're gonna rotate him. You never really know.
Yeah, if Gallup's back healthy,
he's outside for sure.
He's outside for sure.
Gallup doesn't play the slot often.
This guy, again, for those of you who are tuning in, and there's a decent amount of you right now,
we're super ignorant on this guy.
Smash that like button.
Oh yeah, smack it.
Tell us what your thoughts are in the chat.
Smack it with your ball sack.
Nate Dogg's in the house. We don't have a
Nate
thing.
Dogg.
Crack him if you got him, Nate.
Oh, hey, we didn't say that. Lots of Niners fans.
Lots of Niner fans.
Fucking tons of Niners fans.
Ants got into it with the Niner fan today.
I actually got into it pretty good on film with the Niner fan today.
We got the guy's reaction. I think you shut him down.
He didn't really know how to take it. He was kind of beaking off, and then I just kind of put him in his place. Anyways, that'll be on.
Some highlights for being down here in Vegas right now is one. A couple people asked, where do you buy those Crack 'em if you got them shirts?
So actually, Tay, if you're still out there, Tay entered company made us a couple dope ass crack 'em if you got 'em shirts. And we actually had multiple people ask us,
where do they buy them?
That had no idea what they even were, and they were Cowboys fans. They're like, "Hey, where'd you guys get those shirts?" And we're like, "Oh, we made them.
we made them. We made them.
We sewed them.
We sewed them."
But we legit had people asking about the shirts. We legit had people asking about the podcast. So we had people taking pictures of our tits because we had the Can Fan podcast on our titties.
Yep.
And most of the time, I would say everyone down here was everyone was in good spirits. So you get Alex, like how you say it, ribbing people's okay. Like beaking someone is all right as long as it's in good nature.
I knew there was going to be a lot of people down here for it, but yesterday when we do a panning shot to show how many people are at the actual draft experience,
it was crazy.
There's well over 50,000 people probably in that area.
In just the area we were in, and then you got a whole nother couple fucking acres of just people. So
if you had to go to the bathroom, it was next to impossible.
Yeah,
and
you had to go full Micah Parsons.
This morning was cool because we met up with a couple of other Cowboys influencers, 21 Armando 21. Dallas Cowboys Chris.
1 star, 1 family.
1 star, 1 family.
Yeah, it was good shit.
So we had some breakfast with some other Cowboys Nation people.
Had a couple beers, bullshitted, got a picture with them. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time down here. Like I said, it's tough to be in a bad mood. The season's there's nothing really at stake. Obviously there is. You're picking the future of your team. But at the end of the day, everyone's in Vegas.
Yeah.
We're basically on vacation without really being on vacation,
I have to bring up Day One blog because Nate Dogg brought it up.
Yeah.
Now, when I was watching you rip into it's a Jets fan.
No, Eagles, dude, and that guy was all over.
That guy made it.
That guy was all over the draft.
Stuff.
All over the draft. That guy's like front row getting pictures with people. But anyways, what were you saying,
dude? But like. It was cringy, not because I was just like, oh my god, Ant, you're fucking destroying this guy on his own, like in a good way. Like it was Like I was like, oh, this is.
Hey, Alex,
I love Ant in full fucking.
Alex, I don't say this often, but go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that was so classic.
It's funny. It's funny. Someone made the comment yesterday that this is literally the Comic-Con for sports fans.
Yeah, someone said that to us. They're like, you guys. He wasn't a fan, and we were kind of joking around. The guy's like, you realize you're at the Comic-Con for sports fans, and I basically almost spat my drink out. I'm like, it totally is. Just a bunch of nerds that are nerdy enough to like come down and like put on their Batman capes and their Superman fucking tighties and go, And
everybody here is, I mean, they close the strip down so you could walk all the way down the strip. People are throwing footballs. Everybody's wearing some sort of jersey.
It shouldn't be done anywhere else.
I think they should do it in Vegas all the time.
I just don't know what, I don't know. I think if we ever went anywhere else, I think we'd be let down.
I don't think that, I don't know. Again, first time we've been to the draft, but I don't know how any other city could top
Imagine going in Cleveland. What the fuck would you do in Cleveland?
Or Washington?
Anywhere.
Let's go take a look at the statues.
They did do it in Memphis, which I think would be okay.
Tennessee would be all right.
Memphis would be all right, but I think Nashville would probably be better. I think Nashville could hold a lighter to this or a flame to this, but anywhere else, maybe LA,
Miami.
I don't know.
It needs to be a place. It needs to be a place that has a significant like nighttime block or like section of the city. So perhaps Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Meet some
New Orleans would be.
New Orleans would be. Hey, good call, AJ.
New Orleans.
New Orleans would do. I think New Orleans would do great. Yep. Down in the French Quarter.
I mean, we talked about this is probably kind of in the mix of being like a thing
annual
that we
thing.
do. Yeah, it's sweet. It's sweet to meet a lot of people. I think outside of the Cowboys fans, we did talk to a lot of like other football fans, and you talk about picks, and you can kind of do the good ribbing against someone versus like getting heated to the point that you're throwing bolos. Actually, the guy that you were ribbing today, I thought he was going to start punching you. He looked like he was going to cry.
Yeah, well, he's kind of being a little dickhead. So
49ers fan.
Yeah, and his buddies are all right, but
it's also it's also like if you can't get into a argument with someone where you're ribbing the team.
He started it too, by the way.
Yeah,
he full on started it.
Don't do it.
Video proof.
Like just sit back and watch it.
We also saw a couple people pass out.
Oh fuck!
Like it was 5:00. People are puking and they're either dehydrated. Like it was hot.
Well, explain yesterday what happened with that guy.
So yesterday it was like 33 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius.
Celsius. It was about 90, 92.
It was hot, not a lot of wind. We got there at like noon, and around 6 o'clock, like everyone's packed, everyone's still, everyone's drunk, and not a lot of people are probably drinking water because you technically weren't allowed bringing outside bottles in. And
yesterday
they had all these
they
water.
Changed that today.
Yeah, they had all these water refill stations, but it was like $7 to buy like a thing of water. So I don't think a lot of people were drinking water. And just when you were in your spot to go out to the bathroom or to go get water was kind of a pain in the ass. But we're standing there, and all of a sudden you hear this like thump on the sounded like someone like
a cement block dropping or something.
Dropped a cement block, or basically, or dropped a bag of like sand.
And you got to think this is like there's a lot of shit going on, a lot of noise, and we still overheard this over everything.
So we look back, and this guy's laying on the ground, blood's coming out the back of his head. He's on the ground, passed out. Good thing is everyone kind of immediately got around him, flagged.
I went full fucking.
Ant went into site supervisor safety mode. He started flagging it down.
Everyone was just staring at him. I'm like, someone grab someone. Go get them. Yep. And everyone was just kind of looking at him. I was like, get the fuck away from him. Give him room.
I thought Anth was going to start throwing bolos on people that were just sitting there watching.
Well, they were too close to him. The guy's down, and they're all crowding him. I was waiting for someone to start filming.
Yeah,
I would have broke their fucking phone.
He was down for about 15. He was down for about 15 minutes, and then I think he finally came to, and he started puking
everywhere. Like a lot. It looked like he was puking up packages of Kraft Dinner.
Yeah, outside that was the second thing. The first time that someone puked like right in like 2 feet in front of us.
We were like in the puke zone or something. Yeah. Everyone was barfing around us.
And then the guys the guys that we saw today, they're like, oh yeah, both of my buddies puked yesterday. It's like holy fuck! Like what is going on?
Do you guys not just relax? Like and me and you, like we were both drinking.
We were drinking at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we started drinking super early, but it's like.
But we're not taking shots of Crown Royale.
Yeah, it's like they have this you basically walk up. It's a lineup to go in the broad like daylight, super sun area to do shots of like Jameson. I was like, those are the guys that are passing out and barfing everywhere. And then we said, well, if AJ was with us, we would have filmed him going to take one.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
AJ. I don't know how many times we said, "Fuck, AJ would have been perfect in this environment. You would have loved it down here."
And even all the Dallas crew that we met with for breakfast, they were all and they loved the Vape 10 shirt. They took a picture of the Vape 10 shirt.
Where's your boy? Where's your boy? Where's your boy? So anyways, back to Cowboys draft stuff. We've kind of shored up a few big needs. We shored up, or we think we've shored up offensive line, defensive end, and wide receiver. Going into the 4th pick tomorrow. Which is still a pretty important pick. You can still get there's still a lot of great talent. And I'm not saying that, sorry, Ad.
Text 2005 saying, do you think we go TE next round?
I wouldn't be upset with it, to be honest. We don't have Jarwin. You know, Schulte's on the franchise tag. Getting a tight end in the 4th round wouldn't be terrible as long as they're not reaching. I just don't want us to reach for anything.
Yeah, I want us to take, if we take a tight end, we need a block-heavy tight end, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Schulte, that's his one downgrade.
And Jarwin both were not that great blockers.
Not the greatest blockers. Jason Witten, probably one of the best blocking tight ends of all time. I mean, best tight end of all time. I'm not saying the best tight end of all time, but he's definitely in the argument for like top 5 ever to play.
Don't defend it. I saw a lot of Witten jerseys.
Lots of Witten jerseys, but since Jason Witten's left, we've kind of missed out. And like you said, that 6th. That 6th offensive lineman. That's why we've had to use Zeke so much in the run game because we don't have that tight end that can take on a defensive end.
Nate Dogg says that Anthony is the Mitch Buchanan of the podcast.
I don't even know who fucking Mitch Buchanan is.
Nate, can you explain who Mitch Buchanan is?
I hope it's someone that's attractive and funny and like low-key dangerous.
Alex, what do you think about a tight end in this next round?
Yeah, I mean, look, I like what you guys laid down there. That would be great. It'd be nice if he had some hands too, but picking up a 6 O-line, like Ant said, would be great. I'm also wouldn't be mad at this. He was mentioned earlier in the cast, and I checked him out while we were doing it here. Tariq Woolen, cornerback from Texas San Antonio. You know how Jerry loves his Texas
and
boys.
CB's big up. CB's up there. Like you can't have too many CBs.
Yeah, he's
safety
this
even.
Dude, 6'4", 205, runs a 4.26.
Pardon? Pardon? You said he's 6'4", 205, and runs a 4.2.
Yes.
Holy shit, that guy
he could be wrong. on that.
No, that is
I'm looking at the.
That's impressive.
I'm looking at the NFL draft.
Alex, I'll tell you right now, that's right up Dan Quinn's alley. That's your prototypical Legion of Boom, and now Dan Quinn's kind of second stint or third stint as a defensive coordinator. That's right up his alley. I imagine at 6'4", he's got long arms and he's fast. Well, how the fuck is that guy even still available? That's crazy.
Yeah, there must be something, right? Hey, I gotta hop off here, boys, in a couple minutes, but I do just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I was listening to Nick Wright, and he has this really good perspective on drafting quarterbacks, and his perspective is like, if there's going to be a quarterback who falls to the 20th spot, but you feel he's the right one, he should be the number one pick in the draft. Like if he's right at 20, he's right at number one.
Yep.
And I'm kind of paraphrasing it because he explains it a little bit more. But his next rule is, and then draft a quarterback in the 6th or 7th round on a flyer. And that's what I would want the Cowboys to do too, because if you end up picking up some guy who can play that backup QB position, and who the hell knows what he could turn into. But if there's a quarterback available that's kind of in that steal spot, 6th or 7th rounds.
Yeah. So before you hop off, you're saying you want a CB, or you think CB would be great, which I think so. I also think that. And then you're also thinking a quarterback possibly in the later rounds.
Yeah, and if they went tight end or CB back to back in the next 2 rounds, then I'd be like, okay, awesome. That gets or another guard like you mentioned. I mean, I think it's more of the top 3 BPAs, and you pick from those positions in that if they're available.
100%. Well, I don't think we're going to go too much more into this. We'll probably hop off with AJ too, or what do we got? Are we going to fuck around with chat for a bit, or what?
Well, Dallas Cowboy Chris shows up in the chat.
Oh, what's up?
We already talked about how we met
were
you
just
for
chatting,
breakfast.
yeah.
I agree with what
Chris?
Alex was saying, by the way. Following up on what Nate Dogg was saying, and I don't know how I didn't get the reference. Mitch Buchanan, Baywatch. David Hasselhoff is Mitch Buchanan. So talking about taking control of the situation and saving it.
Yeah, I am 100% like that.
That's what we had. And Nate Dogg, we did not go to the Ice Cube concert. For some reason, my eyes, I couldn't. It was either the smoke or something, or suntan lotion. It got into my eyes, and I legit.
You look like you've been pepper sprayed.
I look like I got pepper sprayed, and it took me just before the podcast to start.
Are your eyes better now?
They're still a little bit
shaky. Are we going to stay on and talk with a little bit? Or are we gonna hop off? We can still. AJ, are you bouncing off? We don't want to keep you. I know you got to check out of your hotel there in Thailand. We're not trying to keep you.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd love to keep you on because we love your insight. But if you got to bounce, you got to bounce. But grade our draft real quick so far. Grade our three rounds here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say it's a B plus. I guess an A would be like somehow getting something ridiculously good looking, but at the end of the day, we got the positions that we had been talking about getting, the position wise, except for the linebacker.
Yep.
And but I feel like I look at the D line and linebackers kind of as a package with Dan Quinn. So
totally. Yeah. You know what I'm excited to do?
But you still didn't say what would you grade us?
He said B plus.
Oh, B plus. Guess what? You know, just like in real life, I wasn't listening to you.
You know what I'm excited to see? Our 7-round mock draft versus the draft that the Cowboys did. Like just the guys we took in our mock draft. I'm excited to see how they do versus
how our guys do.
How our guys did. And most our guys that we took in our mock draft. Obviously the first one we took Zion Johnson. He was off the board, but our 2nd-round pick was still there when we picked that second. So it'll be exciting to see how we did, which I imagine we did better than Jerry Jones and his boys. Kidding. I don't think we did. We are very non-experts at the draft. But AJ, I obviously love that you came on. When are you back in Canada, by the way?
Never.
Mid-June.
Mid-June. Oh, so we still got like 6 cast of you. Not even out of office. It's out of
country.
out
of country.
All right, buddy. We appreciate you giving us some time in your travels. Crack me if you got him, son.
And we're back just here with
just the Bessie boys.
Just the bros.
Just the bros. We could do some chat if there's still people in there. If there's any questions for chat, because I think I've kind of touched on a lot of the stuff I want to touch on, but the main thing about doing a podcast and doing a live stream is you want to talk to people that are in here. So
Marion Cabretti, who's showed up before in the chat on the podcast, what's up? He gives it a B+ for him too.
Solid.
Do y'all feel we can still pick up some of the free agents after the draft?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's the thing with free agency is kind of in a weird window. You always get that main blitz out of free agency, and the Cowboys are never heavy in it. And then you get that kind of window of free agency ends, the draft happens, and then there's like another wave of free agency. So I'd be surprised if we didn't start targeting people. Stephen Jones said we were going to target some guys. There's still a lot of good players. There's still Odell Beckham, Landry, like as far as wide receivers. Yep. There's still a lot of players out there, and I would be very, very, very surprised if it wasn't in our best interest to, one, sign free agents, and then two, go after some undrafted guys.
I think the thing that I look at with the draft, or when any type of drafting happens, again, we talked about it. You just don't know, like, the amount of like effort that goes into each of these players, and then you see a guy like Nakobe Dean drop and slide down so far. Like, what do the teams know that we don't? What are they misjudging? And ultimately, you look at a guy like Tom Brady who gets drafted in the sixth round, and he becomes one of the GOATs. So all this to say is, like, you just don't know. There is a lot of effort that goes into these drafts, and you get a guy like Micah Parsons or Trevin Diggs that you can get jacked up about, and you get these studs. I think you got to trust in the team that you're backing, and no matter what, you're always going to have naysayers who are going to like bitch or complain about it. But at the end of the day, we're all kind of keyboard warriors when it comes
100%.
When it comes to what people are doing, right?
No one's going to be completely happy. Like you said, Micah Parsons, I think everyone was pretty happy with that pick. That there wasn't like the controversy with as a Tyler Smith. But you're right. At the end of the day, these guys have probably, I don't know how many scouts out watching these dudes and the amount of hours that they fucking pour into scouting a player. And even with all that, it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
And like you said with Nakobe Dean was one of the 30 players that was here in Vegas. Yeah. Like, we watched him walk across.
He didn't walk out when he
didn't walk out because he probably was fucking. He was here because they thought he was going in the first round.
Chris Galbraith is saying that he slipped because he's injured, so he can miss a season. That's why he slipped. So I don't know if he's injured, but he said he can miss a season. That's why he's injured.
So we didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, he had a pec shoulder issue.
Oh yeah, someone did tell me about the shoulder. I still think
that he chose to not have surgery on.
I still think the Eagles got a fucking absolute steal with that. Oh, yeah, I'm kind of mad that he went to an NFC East team, because like any other team, I would have kind of followed him and been happy about him. But now it's like,
now you hate him.
And it's like, I mean, I hope you still play in the NFL, but it's like, I hope you don't have success. Is that bad?
Yeah, Marion Cabretti saying Anthony Barr and Honey Badger are still out there. I would love to get Honey Badger.
I'd like to get Anthony Barr. Both great players.
And what else we got here? And still good players from Dallas Cowboys Uncensored said still good players that are out there and still June 1st cuts. So, I mean, yeah, what we're like, the draft happens, and then what kind of free agency moves are going to happen? Like, there's
still lots.
The thing is, the Cowboys were very, very silent over the last few months in terms of making free agency moves and signings. So you kind of hope that they have this master plan and they're going to start to do some moves in this offseason. Because there are areas that, like you were saying, we need to shore up no matter what.
Yeah. You know what, though? I'll say this, because there was a lot of hate for the Tyler Smith pick. Everyone we were around at the draft
liked it.
Everyone was going nuts.
Yeah.
Everyone live, and it might be the atmosphere, it might be the alcohol. You don't really know. I mean, I was like, Tyler Smith, I don't even really recognize the name. And then 2 seconds later, I'm jumping around like I just won the lottery. Just because I see everyone else doing it.
They like the pick. I'm taking the pick.
They like it. Other Cowboys fans like it. Well, fucking right. So I'm in. And I will say this. We were talking to another guy, Cowboys fan, prior to our second round pick, and he called the Sam Williams. He's like, I want Sam Williams. I was like, really? You don't want a linebacker? He's like, no, I want Sam Williams. If it's anyone else but Sam Williams, I'll be pissed off. And that was at like... That was like way earlier.
That was like 15 to 20 picks up that we started talking about.
And he got him, and he just looked at me. And this is when like they were all filming us. We got in a crazy crowd as the pick was going on.
Yep.
And he just looked at me. He's like, he was pretty jacked up.
He kind of looked like a young thin Ray Lewis.
You thought Ray Lewis? I thought he kind of looked like
Not Nakobe Dean, but the guy that you were talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A great guy, by the way. Where the fuck was he from? He wasn't from Dallas.
No.
He was from somewhere weird.
What we do find is that there's a lot of Dallas fans that aren't from Dallas.
Well, duh. I mean, we're from fucking Canada.
People are very surprised when we tell them that we're from Canada, by the way.
Well, before being surprised, the first thing they say is, "A."
Oh yeah, they make a couple Canadian jokes, and then we start to
Canadian
jokes, and then we start to hit them up.
We start hitting them up with football knowledge, like,
and then they say, "You guys are crazy." Then you guys are crazy. Dallas Cowboys on Center saying it's been reported that the Eagles cleared Nakobe Dean, and he's expected to be in training camp, and no surgeries are scheduled. I hate it. Yeah, you hate it.
I hate it. I hate it, but good on the guy.
Nate Dogg saying that the Ravens and the Steelers always have solid drafts.
Always.
I think the
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I think Pickett was a good pick from the Steelers. Obviously, if they didn't have the unfortunate demise of their former, obviously, no, not Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback who got killed in the car accident.
Oh yeah, but I'm not saying anything against him. He probably wasn't going to start. Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
That's tragic as fuck. But I still think they.
Do you think that weighed on their pick though?
No, they were still in the market for a quarterback.
Yeah, I do feel it's one of those things where you like, how can you feel bad for anybody who's still been drafted in the in 3 rounds? But those players that everybody hypes up, like Malik, and then all of a sudden he goes like 3rd round, and you're like, oh man, I feel bad that he didn't go higher. Not that he deserves to be higher. Not that the other guys who got drafted before him.
You're a fucking human, though. You have a little empathy. Like the dude's here. That him and Nakobe Dean are here.
Just the fact that you get it so amped up, and then the players who are at home and they're not at the draft, I want to be like, well, why wouldn't you come down to the draft?
I got one for you. So Dotson, the guy that got drafted by the Commanders, the first pick, he missed himself getting picked because he was watching a basketball game on his phone because he didn't think he was going till later.
Which player was that?
Dotson, the pick by the wide receiver by the Washington Commanders. He came out and said he missed himself getting picked. The only reason he knew was Ron Rivera called him, and as he was getting called, he was watching a basketball game on his phone because he thought he was going later.
Oh my goodness. That type of story is pretty.
What? I like it. Like the guys like that. I mean, you're humble, right? But it's like at the same time. I mean, you're not even watching in case.
No. So what do you say to those people? What do you say to the fans who are complaining about Jerry or Steven's picks?
I don't think as a Cowboys fan, I've been pretty lucky. I've been a Cowboys fan, like pretty diehard Cowboys fan since probably about 2005, 2006. And the one place that we're usually pretty consistent, we don't do a lot of good stuff in free agency. We have a lot of questionable calls throughout the season. But I'd say in the last 10, 15 years, we haven't really been that bad of a draft team. So I've kind of come to accustom with trusting their picks. And that's back to my Tyler Smith thing. These guys have drafted in the last 10 years 100% 2 Hall of Fame linemen.
Right.
And possibly a third one in Travis Frederick. So Tyron Smith, Hall of Famer. Zach Martin, Hall of Famer. Travis Frederick, fringe Hall of Famer. The only reason was he got derailed by a disease. So these guys obviously can look at they're grading the guy they drafted, Tyler Smith, on the same grades that they drafted those 3 guys with.
Right.
So you got to trust that. You got to trust them. And they came out and said that Tyler Smith was higher on their board than Zion and Green, which I don't know if that's true, but they said it. So who knows?
Yeah, of course. I mean, no matter how you change what they're going to say in terms of like where they rank somebody based on like Zion or Kenyon being taken earlier, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They picked an O-line first, which is what we needed.
We needed and wanted.
As much as I would have loved to have picked something like, sexy, like all of a sudden
or like trade up and like do something nuts.
And do something nuts. Like that's obviously the kind of the thematic fan in me wants to see something like that. But ultimately, we had one guy who gave a nice little soundbite yesterday say, we got to get in the trenches. We got to put the players that are going to help build the foundation of the team. They want an O-line, get something in the O, because we need to protect Dak,
Yeah.
So I'm not mad.
We're
about
pretty
any of it.
easygoing
We're
fans
very easygoing about
when
it,
it
and I'll
comes
be
into stuff like
stoked
this.
about it. I mean, I love to see Alex get a Tyler Smith jersey.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because you know he will.
I was jacked at last year. I was jacked about the Parsons pick. He could have been a top 5 pick. Obviously, I was jacked up about that. Prior to that, when we were picking in 20, I just don't know enough about the college game, and I don't ever pretend to know enough about the college game. But now that I know who we've picked, I'm going to basically watch every fucking highlight they have. I'm going to watch every snap of their... that's kind of how I do reverse scouting. I wait... instead of scouting 30 or 40 prospects that possibly could be Cowboys, I wait until they are a Cowboy, and then I watch them. And it doesn't matter. They could be the best player in college football. They could be the worst player in college football. The shit that happens in the NFL, you can never actually pick until they're on a field, and that's the exciting part.
And that's the and Nate Dogg saying that you boys do have a great scouting department. And then Alex is also saying, so he's saying that
AJ?
So Nate Dogg's saying that the Cowboys have a good scouting department.
They do, yeah.
AJ's saying first pancake and that Smith jersey is ordered.
Oh, but BWB2?
Yeah, BWB2.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's sweet.
Of course he is.
So what else? Do we got any people in there? Are we sticking around?
Oh, yeah, we got we got lots of people watching right now.
Oh, okay, well, we'll just keep shooting the shit. We're literally, look at this. You got the Bellagio fountain behind us.
I know.
And there's people out partying there, and we're in here talking about the draft.
So
I love it. Yeah. I'd rather be here than out there, to be honest.
Every single night after the experience, we've gotten back, we've started to edit or we started to put stuff together. And then even this morning, we got up and we're overlooking the pool. And the whole time we're looking out at the people in the pool, and we're sitting down and we're trying to edit together the fucking game day vlog.
The best thing is
the draft vlog.
And it's gonna get 100 views, but you know what? You got to put in your stripes, and that's what we're doing. We're in Vegas putting our stripes down.
Putting the stripes, and matter of fact, we've lost some decent amount of money trying to gamble. So
fuck, man,
it's probably saving us money by being inside here doing this right now.
When Ad came back tonight to cool his eyes down, and I went to grab us some water, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna win us our money back. Well, I didn't.
And he didn't. That was a hard one too. We missed getting your $3 Michelob Ultra and hot dog, and we talked about it every single time.
I might go there tomorrow before we fly out. Honestly,
missing Cube. I thought Ice Cube would have been sweet to watch, but I couldn't open my eyes. I don't know if it was the smoke or something. We missed
Weezer yesterday, which yeah. But we did miss Ice Cube go live. Yeah. He's actually he's probably long done now. Yeah, he probably just finished. He probably just finished it up. But yeah, we did miss a couple things, but we were also out on the ground, and it's for us being from Canada where it's not that hot right now. It's fucking hot down here. Yeah. I was when we were standing there wasn't much wind today. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as you get that wind chill or you get that shade, it was like a breath of fresh air. But all that being said, amount of fucking people that were just standing out there for 4 or 5 hours in a parking lot
before
anything was even happening was crazy.
We actually talked to a couple Seahawks fans today, and they had said that they had snuck up to the very front of the draft area. You want to take a leak? So these Seahawks fans, they had literally snuck up to the very front. So the way it was, the draft was free. Anyone could go and watch the draft. But you could pay to be in this nice covered area where there's seats and you got the primo view. But these dudes, they showed up at 11 o'clock in the morning yesterday to get very front row of the free seats, and they must have stood there before the draft even started 6 hours. They were talking about how they were switching out. They would switch out people to go get them water. They would switch out to see who would go take a leak. Adam and I kind of showed up I'd say we were there fairly early, 12:30, but we left, came back, walked around, and we still ended up having pretty decent seats. We couldn't really see the stage, but they got giant screens. It was pretty sweet. And as far as we got AJ to give us a grade, I can't see what chat's saying right now because it's on Ad's computer, but I'm just going to kind of mamble on until he gets back. If I had to give a grade for our draft so far, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that can happen. We got a lot of picks in the 5th round. We still got the 4th round, obviously, 6th, 7th round. There's a lot of shit that can still happen. I'm going to give us a solid, I think AJ gave us a B+. I don't want to do the same thing, but it's tough not to. I think a B+ is a good grade as far as there's room to improve, but there's also question marks, right? A B+ I think is you're happy with it, but there's still some unknowns. So I'm gonna go, just so I'm not the same as Alex, I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna say a solid B. As far as I liked the positions we took, but the players we took in those positions still have some uncertain question marks or qualities.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys Chris is saying he was great, and maybe I don't know who he's talking about. At what point?
Yeah, I just started kind of rambling on who is great.
Maybe he's talking about Ice Cube.
Oh yeah, he might. Yeah, that's probably exactly what he was talking about. I hope not. I hope he sucked because we missed it. Yeah, no. What other questions we got? Anyone else in chat?
Dallas Cowboys Uncensored are saying that they haven't watched a show for a few bit, but they haven't been doing a show for a couple months, so they're ramping it back up. So he's basically doing self promotion, but also saying that he's going to show up on our stuff.
Hey man, we love self promotion because you know what? As soon as you get up and going, I'm going to be coming in there self promoting us.
Yeah.
So we love it. Yeah, let us know. Hit us up on any of our socials at Cowboys Can Fan.
Slide into our DMs.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Let us know when you're up and running, and one of us will stop by.
I'm not going to go ahead and give us a draft grade. I think if you kind of want to say B plus, like, it's exciting. I don't think we were an A. But at the end of the day, I think the draft grade should happen towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and that's the funny
thing. Because when you see those players play, how do they work out for your organization? Because you're picking them before anything happens. You're picking them from college into the NFL. So you're gonna grade them based upon what your team needs, what the type of player it is. But ultimately, I think it's more interesting to me to see what would that draft grade would happen towards the end of season, which we should do for a future episode. What should all the teams get for their draft grade by the end of the season of that year?
What's your draft grade for the Cowboys last year?
Dallas Cowboys Chris is saying Ice Cube was great.
Oh fuck, we should have just stuck it out. Well, we couldn't.
I wouldn't have been able to see.
Your eyes were fucked. We had to make a situation. We had to make a choice.
Yeah.
We had to make a choice, and I think we made the right choice because your eyes seem to be doing better. Next time, just don't attack a cop, and you won't get pepper sprays.
Chris is saying that B plus is fair now. It could easily end up higher by season's end.
Could be higher, but
that's right. Which I just want to make that a point.
Could be lower though.
Absolutely,
right? It could be lower. I think B plus is like you got that room for improvement, and it's kind of like that grade where you don't feel stupid if they suck, and you don't feel
okay. So if you ask, what do you think about last season's draft grade? Well, obviously you have Micah Parsons. So how are you not? How are you not in the A region?
Him alone.
Him alone
gets you an A-, and then Osa at 3.
Yep.
Get that right there. Those two dudes, and then Kelvin Joseph, as long as he doesn't go to jail. I mean, well, I don't know. Boss man fat. You don't. It's still kind of up in the air. But last year, like you said, Micah Parsons. I think that puts you in the A range automatically.
I think when we look at when we look at what is going on for all the teams that are happening right now, it would be interesting to kind of look at like a top-down canvas to say, okay, where was that team at that moment? What did they fill into it, and then how did that happen throughout their season? What type of trajectory did it? What type of moves did they make based upon their drafting, their drafting ability, or the drafting that they did? Because there's gonna be things that are gonna, come tomorrow or come Sunday or the next few weeks. Things are gonna happen based upon what happened in this draft.
Yep.
So you could grade the draft, but what do you grade that team for that year? And you could easily say, well, who made it to the playoffs, who made it to the Super Bowl.
It's all hearsay, basically.
Yeah.
It's all hearsay.
And I think, like, if you look at what are you doing to build for the now, or are you going to build for the future? Like, what teams do you think are putting in the work right now to build for the future? Maybe not necessarily this season, but just for future seasons.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I fucking hate how much better on paper, I'm going to say on paper, because like you said, there's a lot of speculation, but I do think the Giants and the Eagles both got a lot better on paper. Not so much, I mean, the Commanders had a couple decent picks, but the Eagles and the Giants picks, plus their trades, they just both got a lot better than they were last week.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how these guys are going to do, but they put themselves in the position to have the NFC East be a very, very competitive division this year. Then again, I thought last year was going to be a very competitive division, and we kind of ran away with it. with saying that, I really, man, and I'm going to say this, no one's won the NFC East back to back in, I don't know the exact time, but it's been years.
Yeah.
So, and we won the NFC East last year. So like, obviously it doesn't really matter. Stats like that are irrelevant, but it still makes you think. It just shows the parity of the league, and it shows the parity of the coaches and the organizations, that for whatever reason, these teams know each other well enough that if one team said, like the Cowboys were 12-5 last year, it's in the last 20 years, it's very, very hard for them to repeat as division champs.
Yeah.
Which makes me a bit nervous.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want every time a team in our division got a player that we thought was a good pick, it's just like, damn, that sucks.
And you knew Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles defense just got, oh man. And then they got fucking AJ Brown as a wide receiver.
Yep.
Like, are you kidding me, man?
I mean, I still think, like, look, obviously we're not even into off-season or preseason talks yet to see exactly how our players are doing, and we're nowhere near done any type of like, you know, trades or adjustments before the season starts. So it'll be interesting to see where things go. There's a lot of months until the season starts, so anything can happen.
We're pretty good at being, I'd say, fair. I'm probably the biggest pessimist out of us, but as far as a Cowboys fan, like, as far as Cowboys fans go, I'm pretty optimistic.
Yeah. Like,
as a whole, Cowboys fans can be pretty doom and gloom, and I think that just might be the fact that there's so many of us, and usually the louder, more pessimistic fan will kind of come out, opposed to the guy that's like, oh no, the draft was okay. You're going to hear the guy going, oh fuck, our first round pick, that Tyler Smith, that sucked, like this sucked. You're going to hear that louder than the people that like it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm nervous for the season a little bit. I would like to see what we do tomorrow, and then what we do in free agency.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of rounds to go.
There's still 3 rounds to go, and there's still a whole lot of free agency left.
Nate Dogg saying you guys will be flying because every quarterback in your division sucks.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Well, and that was funny. We had the one dude that was with us in the draft yesterday. We had a guy that was hanging out with us throughout the draft, and there was Giants fans, and I was kind of in with the Giants fans, and they wanted Neil in the first.
He wasn't like in with the Giants fans. He was just in talking to the Giants fans.
Yeah, I was just talking to the Giants fans. Well, their 7th pick was going. I said, hey, who do you guys want? And they were like, we want Neil, and they got Neil. And they were going nuts, these guys. And then the dude, the Cowboys fan that we were with, he's like, yeah, but they still have Daniel Jones as their quarterback, which is true. Like, you put up, I mean, Carson Wentz on his second stint in the NFC East. Jalen Hurts, who I think could be promising. It's tough to say. He's kind of hit or miss. Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott. Yep. I mean, Dak Prescott's, in my opinion, the clear front runner of those 4 dudes. And it's a quarterback-driven league. Quarterbacks win the NFL, and right now we have arguably the best quarterback in the NFC East. You know?
Is that a mic drop? Like, were you gonna drop your mic?
I was gonna try to hit someone at the pool. Oh, no one's in the pool. But
no one's in the pool right now.
No one's in the pool right now. No, it wasn't a mic drop. I think it's more factual than a mic drop. A mic drop's kind of like
you make a big statement and then you walk away.
Yeah, you walk away. Which I don't think I have to walk away saying that to anyone in the NFC East. I think that's just kind of known fact that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Okay, so I got a question. So now that you've been to the NFL draft, let's say outside of like going to a game, you have training camp, you have the NFL draft, you have the combine, and then you have the Pro Bowl. What one of those?
Order?
What would you? So the draft, because we're here, we know how sweet it was.
Yep.
Just the amount of people around. I'm guessing that training camp could be the same.
I'd rather do a training camp.
Training camp over the draft?
Yeah, I'd way rather do a training camp.
How come?
Because I get to watch my team, right? Like, you get to watch your
teams.
You already know the team. You know who you've picked in the draft. I mean, this is still sweet. Like, the draft is still awesome.
But and I don't think I'll ever really dive into, because I'm kind of like, I mean, obviously I'm similar to you because I'm your brother, but I don't follow enough college football, and I don't think I will follow enough college football to really like go through the combine and then come to the draft and be like, these are the 8 players that I need.
Yeah.
It's like I have no control over that whatsoever. So I know how emotionally attached I get to something. It's why I don't gamble a lot or ever. But so I can agree with you on like training camp. I still think the draft in terms of like collectively like meeting other people from other organizations is pretty sweet.
Oh, the draft is awesome. Like I had a great time. But if I had to do one, like decide, I think I would do training camp just because you got the guys that are on the team. You're going to see your players. You're going to talk to all like-minded Cowboys fans. Everyone there is a Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah.
We're here. It's like the running joke of the draft is basically, and we got Cowboys fans and everyone boos, right?
It's
kind of like the running gag.
It is crazy to me that it feels like we're one of the most hated teams.
Oh,
in
we
the
are.
league.
We Cowboys
Bar
are
none.
100%. It's like if say you're doing an announcement and you want to get a cheer or a response, you go, okay, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing that better than those Cowboys fans, and then everyone boo, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't give a fuck, really. I think it's funny, but training camp, everyone's there, everyone's cheering for the same thing, everyone's there for the same purpose. I think that would be kind of cool to do in regards to being that everyone's there to root for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else you got?
No, I'm cool, man. I'm just glad we actually got on here and did one from Vegas, which was kind of cool. So now we've done two casts from we did Fort Worth. We were staying in Fort Worth, and now we did Las Vegas. Like
2 international casts.
Yeah, right on the strip. So I don't know. I thought it was just I just got to give props to you for your setup, and that it was even possible that we even
we pulled it together.
That we even pulled one together and had people on here. And
appreciate all of you who showed up on a Friday night to listen to two dudes who really don't know much about.
Just fans. Like literally, just we're fans.
Yeah,
and we don't try to pretend to be anything other than fans that we enjoy talking about this shit and talking to you guys.
Perfect timing too, because the camera just says to change battery pack.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna bounce. Hey, run that shit, Big Hud. Get him.
Can't
see it anyway.
Big Hood in the beard.
Camera's